folks, and welcome back once again to Lakeside Ridge. We have a bunch of stuff going on here. We have hyperwave cloth being made. We have all of this stuff up here in the middle of being planted. Once we get this moisture pump out enough that we can fill in the last of this gap, we're going to remove this wall here, make it much easier to get back and forth, because right now it's a long walk. Looks like Bashkir is still burying those bodies over, incinerating them in the crematorium there. But either way, as long as they're out of sight, that's cool. What's Kelly doing right now? Kelly is making food. A-okay with me. We have Oliver there doing research. We have steel shroom trees growing, so we will get an income of steel now, seeing as we have exhausted all of it on the map. Or there might be some pockets hidden inside the larger like stone areas here, but I don't feel like digging for them. We can just grow our own plants that bring up steel from the ground somehow by some kind of voodoo. Looks like McKay is actually out there planting some plasteel growing plants right now. All of these farms, when they're finished producing, will stop being planted. The farmland is going to be up here from now on. And what we may do is move the church to its own building over here, eventually figure out how that actually works, and then we can make this room a bunch nicer. We can give ourselves like some pool tables and that kind of stuff. There is a cassowary in there, and I just realised we don't have a door on here anymore, so we'll get on order one of those as well. And then we can jump the speed back up to 3 and watch time go by. What's that guy? Oh, that's one of those big bugs that we killed at the end of the last episode. I think we'll just leave him there to bleed out. We don't care too much about him. And I think we're back in a good place now, where we should be looking towards expansion of our numbers again. I'm not sure exactly how we're going to go about that, but it's definitely something we should be considering. Because there's also occasionally there's opportunities to buy slaves from passing traders. I'm gonna put a single standing lamp in that corridor just because it bugs me that it's entirely dark. Jebez's out here playing horseshoes. Yeah, I think I like the idea of building a church up here. Because eventually I'm gonna figure out how that cult stuff works. Like I can't click on this, I can't do anything with it. I can sacrifice, but there's no player cult. Yeah, no player cult available. So we must be missing something from down here still. Study successful cults maybe? We'll add this stuff onto the list. It's a big list. Requirements missing. Okay, so something. Wait, yeah, we'll click these. I guess we do have to pick a cult somehow. I'm still not sure how. I'm sure it's fine. One of the turrets is broken down. How many components do we have left? We're down to 54. There's been a severe lack of traders lately who aren't charging an arm and a leg for those components. Not sure where Jebez has just been, but more power to him, I guess. Who else do we have on planting and growing? We have a lot of people on 2. You know, I think we want Kelly and McKay. I think we want that as a top priority now, because there is just a hell of a lot of that to get done. And they're not really seeing to it at the moment. And seeing as the auto rearm isn't working, we're going to trigger these to be manually rearmed. There we go. Kelly's out there now planting some. I believe those are the hyperweave mushrooms. What is J-Bear doing? Where are you going, buddy? What is your plan here? Oh, these guys need to be buried and their stuff needs to be brought in. That is true. All of that needs to be deconstructed. So we got uranium. That's pretty cool. There's just a bunch of stuff down there that we can use. Who's on hauling anyway? Okay. Haul and clean is Bashki, but he's the only one. I think we're going to set hauling as a number one for Udai just for a little while as well. Because there's food laying out, there's a bunch of stuff that needs to be brought in. We are not going to take that Luciferium, we are going to sell it at the first opportunity. Because that is just a great way to, yeah, it's a great way to ruin your characters. It's essentially, I think I'm explaining it, but I'll go over it briefly again. It is nanites that will make you better at everything at the cost of being 100% incurably permanently addicted to them. And if you don't get them, you literally lose your mind. You just turn into a raging lunatic of a barbarian who will punch at anything just at the vain hope that they have Luciferium hidden somewhere on their squishy corpse. No, I think we're going to get rid of that dump zone now. It's kind of in the way at this point. We'll probably add one up here once we once we get this place secured. That's going to be a while though. It's going to be a couple of weeks until we can actually seal this place in properly. Priscilla, what were you doing? Just hauling in, what is that, steel maybe? I'm going to assume that's steel. Yes, you were putting it on there. What's on here to be done? Oh, making high explosive shells. You know, honestly, I'm okay with that. Those things turned out to be really useful when we gave them to someone who could fire the mortar in the correct direction. I don't know if we can butcher these or not. It doesn't seem like anyone's too interested in doing it. The sheer amount of power income we have now compared to what we had is pretty insane. We could probably afford more turrets power-wise, but I want to be a little bit conservative with our components, seeing as we're really struggling to get more of those at the moment. Oh, that blows. Okay. So, time to talk about allowed areas. We're going to make one. Area 1, oh, I think we've already made one actually. Wait, have we had toxic fallout before? We might have done. Essentially, we now want to stay in the roofed area. We're going to restrict everyone to Area 1, which we are going to have to briefly expand to cover this a bit. And that's going to be it. We're going to have to put everyone in there, and they can get on with whatever they can do inside, because I'm not going to lose my people. Cargo pods, typical, what just dropped? Bunch of cornmeal. We'll unforbid it, I don't know if we'll actually get it or not. Bunch of stuff out there that still needs to be hauled as well. So everything we planted is likely going to die. Pretty much everything on the map is likely to die. We have a bunch of food, so it's not really that much of a problem. This is going to give us time to get a bunch of cleaning done, and a bunch of refinery type stuff done, sculptures, pretty much anything that needs done in the base that we've been putting off. It's going to get done now. Tag that for disassemblement. We can basically roof this entire area now, I guess. Why is there a piece of broken wall there? I don't like that. We'll bonecrete that back up. I think we still have plenty of that. Yeah, we still got loads of that. Probably why the cassowaries are wandering in and out. But yeah, it's not actually too bad for us. We have enough food that we can make this work. We're just going to sit around and do a bunch of work inside the base. There is, I don't think there's any cotton left, but there should be some cloth. So that we can make more clothes. Mad animal, what are we looking at here? That shouldn't be a problem. By the time it gets to us, the turrets will nail that. So we are going to have to... oh, I know what else we can do. Smelt metal from slag. Forever. So all of the slag metal that's on the map will now start turning into steel as well. Or at least all of it that we can reach for now. Don't think we'll get too much from it, but there you go. And there's the turrets. Yep, that cast already died. Managed to avoid all of the traps. I don't think we're yeah, I don't think we're too bothered about him. Jebbe's still quite slow. Why are you still slow? No reason for him to be. Oh no, he was just walking slowly to whatever he was doing. He's going quite quick again now. So he appears to be naked, which is a slight issue. Oh. Fairly sure we don't have that many. Is it? Take best to stockpile, clear all. Yeah, I guess there are spares in there already, so there's no reason for people to not be wearing clothes. Machine tables just broke down. That is awesome. We want to salvage the apparel that we're not using. Looks like that actually hasn't been ordered. So anything under 50% will be salvaged. I'll give the loot something else to do. And I guess for now we're just kind of gonna wait this out, see how long it takes. Hopefully it's not too long. And this, yeah, this can last a long time in game, or it can last just a couple of days. Either way, it's bad for us. It's gonna limit what we can do. We've essentially caught up on all the work inside the base now, for the most part. We're gonna be salvaging all of the, all of this stuff, and I think we want to do a separate build for salvaging apparel. Details on this one, any quality, but not the non-dead man stuff. So this one, essentially, if there's anything dead man's, they'll salvage it regardless of how good it is, or how good the condition is. They'll just rip it apart because it's horrible and bloody and minging. How much steel do we have now? Trying to find it in this list somewhere. It's a big ass list. We need to sell all this leather to someone as well. I'm not actually seeing steel in this list. I might be going past it. I have been known to do that from time to time. And while my computer really isn't liking doing this with toxic fallout on. What are you up to, Priscilla? You're salvaging all of that other stuff. Awesome. So that's going to give us just more cloth to work with. Not sure what she's up to now. Maybe going to have breakfast? Oh, she's just praying. Okay. Well, you do you, boo. Yeah, we have a bunch of these rooms to fill now, so I'm hoping we can get some more colonists soon. And this should hopefully re-trigger them crafting clothes from scratch. Yeah, you can see the plants are dying out. That's a shame. We were just starting to get the new farmland up and running, but you know, it is what it is. We still have plenty of food, so I'm not too concerned about it. I'm still hoping, probably maybe in vain, for a passing trade ship. I don't think any caravans are going to pop onto the map with toxic fallout. Same for guests, and if they are, we might turn them away, because we have no control over where guests go. And yeah, if they decide to hang around outside too long and get dead, they're going to be annoyed at us for that. But it's colony's just ticking along. Like, a bunch of people have got nothing to do, and I think just because this is going to be all there is to this, I'm going to skip you guys ahead until after the toxic fallout. It's currently the 6th of September. Alright, so we're up to the 7th of September. See how long this takes to play out. The toxic fallout. A bunch of stuff on the maps died, as you can see up here. I've been clearing this away pretty much a bunch right now. The reason I brought you back is we have a combat supplier, and he is also charging an exorbitant amount for his components, so we're not going to bother with that. We are, however, going to sell him a bunch of this crap that we've accumulated from random attacks, which is currently not worth very much at all. Hopefully these, I was really hoping these auxiliary pistols would be worth a bit more than that. An awful armored vest we'll keep for now. What else do we have? Okay, well he will buy some of these sculptures from us, sorry. So that's pretty neat. And then, yeah, we might as well get his components now. That was all I was bringing you back for, folks. I found out why there was constantly holes in our walls. This cassowary keeps just punching his way through our walls. I'm not sure why. But, well, it's she actually. But she's a bit of a douche. So I'm going to continue running forward through this toxic fallout, and I'll bring you back if something interesting happens or when it finishes, and offer to buy basically all of our spare cloth and clothes. We have purchased a bunch of components from them, 40 that they're going to give us, and they're going to give us a pretty good rate on those. And we still have a bunch of money left over, so I think we're actually going to buy some meat from these guys, just to pad out our food stores. Going to give us 900 silver. We did have a ship flyby that I traded with earlier as well, for pirates. They bought most of our luciferium, but we didn't get anything from them, so I'm probably not going to include that clip in this. But we had 4 of that left, and we're getting rid of the last of that to these guys. And I think we're also going to take this steel. It's going to give us nearly 300 of that. We're still going to get a little bit of silver out of the deal, but honestly we have so much that I'm more interested in getting goods at this point. So that's all that stuff being dropped for us. Hopefully they had the common decency to drop it in the allowed area. I'm not sure if they did. They didn't. So we'll expand area 1 to allow that stuff in. And I think that's pretty much it. We're going to let these guys hang around. We dismantled the church and built a billiards table and a poker table instead, because I think I messed up the mod by destroying that Rimworld. I think we needed that for something, so we're probably just going to rejected proposal. Ooh, nasty. So yeah, I think we're just going to play it out like our people decided not to worship Cthulhu and slowly lose their minds. Decided it would be better to stay on the righteous path. Air quotes. And yeah, I'll see you when the toxic fallout is over. It is now the 10th of September, so good news. The 11th of September, and the toxic fallout has settled, meaning we can get back to doing what we're supposed to be doing, the expansion of the colony. So we are nearly ready for this to be plugged up, the big gap up there. Once we order that, we'll order the deconstruction of the separating wall. I don't think we're quite at the right expansion. I think it's going to be one more after this, because it'll go out like that way, and then it'll plug up the gaps. But it is going to allow us to get back on with the expansion, which is pretty dope. So we've got a lot of meat in there, but no veg to continue cooking with, so we'll have to wait for that. Is that suspended or something? No. It's just you die being lazy. Go build that. It's gonna bug me if you don't. I guess some people kept walking over it, but I will get him out of bed at 2 in the morning to finish that. So I'm interested to see what people will get up to now that they're allowed back on the map. I did roof this entire area here. I ordered the deconstruction of the monolith, which is gone now, so we are good and honest people again, ish. There is a bunch of stuff on the map that can be turned into steel. All of these slag chunks. So Bashki is going to be running around doing that. We did have an eclipse. Battery broke down. That's not that big of an issue, to be honest. Once that gets fixed, it's not too bad. We have over 100 components, so it's pretty okay actually. There were a bunch of animals on the map that died, like an unbelievable amount. But I think they're a lost cause. They'll be pretty toxic and rotten. But there is still some stuff out there we could hunt if we wanted to. What's Priscilla doing? Oh, she'll be making chem fuel for the generators there. Something I do need to check in power here. We have the advanced geothermal generator. We have not a hope in hell of building that right now. I'm fairly sure, wasn't Kim set to run over? That's Kelly and McKay. They are, well, McKay at least is on a bit of a mission up there, planning all of these zones on her own. As you can see, steel is probably the biggest thing. Okay, this is a thing. So this is going to poison poison everything around it until we deal with it. We're going to militarize absolutely everybody and bring them in, and then we're going to assign them some roles. So melee against that thing is going to be useless. So we're going to man the steel mortars with J-Bear and Priscilla. Kelly, you are also melee, but you're going to hide behind that wall. You're also one of the, as much as it sucks to say it, you are one of the least valuable members of the colony, so you're kind of going to be the meat shield. Did we ever get that excellent assault rifle? No, that's still down there. The toxic fallout stopped us from picking that up. Next up, we're going to want our, you might as well stand in there just to make yourself feel better about your chances here. Actually, Kelly, how badly do you, oh, okay, you really like hitting things. And what we're going to do is we're going to fire at that. Can we make him? Priscilla, can you? Okay, your only choice is to melee it. So what we're going to do to awaken this thing, we're going to get good old Udai in a sniper rifle who can shoot from a mile away, and we're going to go make him plink at the ship. That should wake up whatever's inside it. Now we have to deal with this quickly because the longer it's on the ground here, the range, okay, what is your range? Yeah, basically the longer this thing is here, the worse things are going to get. I'm just going to have to pause the recording for 2 seconds, folks. So we will fire a shot at this ancient ship here, and this will be filled with mechanoids. Yep, so Udai is going to GTFO Kim. I don't know what your damage is, but you are recruited right now, so it looks like J-Bear and Priscilla have already fired. There is a single centipede there, and it's going to waddle its way towards us. We're going to do all we can to fire at it. So we might as well put this on triple speed. Watch as this thing gets mortars fired at it wherever it's going. I think, yeah, maybe we don't have these guys do this. We'll get people who are actually good at firing. Send McKay down onto this other one, because these guys are just going to make an absolute mess of that. And I think that means we can probably just demilitarize everyone else, to be honest. The mortars should take care of it if it's not going to bother attacking us. We have a lot of these shells, so one can hope they will actually hit this guy at some point. I don't think he's been injured yet. Nope. So I think we'll just triple speed this, and yeah, once this repeatedly failed to hit this guy, eventually, if it continues to stay this bad, we will. Oh, did we hit the ship? Oh, we hit him that time. Pretty solid. And every time it looks like he's going to get bored and wander off. Nope, those were misses. Wow, I think we'll give these guys one more volley, and if it doesn't work out, we're probably just going to have to do this the old-fashioned way first thing in the morning. Oh, there we are. Perfect. You can demilitarize. You can go get your sleep. As soon as someone wakes up, we'll have them... Okay, Priscilla. Perfect. Do we have another melee weapon in here? I didn't realize that she was... yeah, unequipped, but we'll have her go finish off the centipede. And then we'll militarize her and have her punch the ship to death. As you can see, it's spreading this toxin everywhere. It's going to take her a while to do that because she is literally stood shadowboxing a piece of ancient ship. But we took care of that within 24 hours, so it wouldn't have had time to do too much damage, which is pretty dope. And it's melee practice for Priscilla, if nothing else. Like, I think she should be actually... No, she's not learning from that. Break down in one of our generators, that's fine. Awesome, there we are. So we're going to allow everything that's on the map again. So that gave us some slag chunks, some silver, and another big chunk of steel. With the amount of that we're on the way towards getting, we might actually be able to get some bionic eyes going for everyone, because I think scarred eyes is one of like the most common permanent injuries you can get. Not sure why Priscilla feels the need to cut down that tree, but more power to you. Where's McKay? What is she doing right now? Cutting tall grass. And now she's done. Well, as long as between the two of them they get all this farm work done eventually, that's just fine by me. Nothing's going to come in like one big wave now, just because the grow zones are too large for this to be a nice, neat little organised thing. Yep, we are going to have to wait for one more expansion. It'll be in just under a week before we can do anything with that that wall. Luckily, with how good we actually have farmers now, it's not going to take them too long to get that done. I'm guessing we've already disassembled that centipede. That really didn't take us long. I wish I would have seen what we got from that. Let's have a look in the stockpiles here, because there was a chance we got its weapon, and I would be super interested in having that. But I don't see it in there, so I think we missed out on that. Not the worst thing in the world. We do still have that excellent assault rifle down here, and some glow pods. I don't know what those do. I think they're just naturally occurring cave lights, essentially. These storage areas looking a lot less cluttered now that we've managed to sell all of the random junk that we had, which I'm pretty pleased with. Looks like McKay is back to planting. I don't know what is that. They'll wake up in the mood to work and they'll do one thing and then change their mind and go do something else. No, she's just getting on with it now. That's pretty good. See, like I said, it's good, solid progress. It'd be better once everything's planted. It's a lot easier, but starting grow zones of this size is a lot harder than maintaining them. Looks like Kim's actually out there. Boston died from magic. Who the hell's Boston? Wasn't on the map. Wasn't one of mine. Wasn't anyone left in here. Unless we had another hidden ancient danger somewhere. Which I don't believe you can get to on a map, but I might be wrong. We had a bunch of elephants and muffalo and everything die out here as well. Lots and lots of things died from the toxic fallout. Bunch of boomalopes die. You could always tell when they did because there was just a somewhere else on the map and then pop up in this corner. So what are we actually working on right now? Towards towards the end game, I think we're working on a bunch of research, and that might be about it. We need to work on advanced components. We also want advanced close weapons. That's going to be a long time till that's done, so we'll stop piling on the extra research there. We've got some good progress done on the planting at least. We even managed to harvest some potatoes. Didn't think we'd be harvesting anything for a long time with all that toxic fallout that came through. But I guess it is going to be a long time before we get a real harvest. So between the 3 farmers, this will be a pretty nice place to live pretty soon. Especially once we get a real good harvest of those steel shrooms in. And we can start making a bunch more bionics and stuff. That's going to be real nice. I was hoping to gather up another colonist this episode, but I guess that's just not going to happen. Inspiration work frenzy from Kelly. That's actually pretty good. I mean, she's going to plant things just that little bit faster. I don't know that we necessarily need to be hunting anything right now. What I do want to look at down here on the machining table is... No, I don't want close combat. I want powered armor. Power armor. Let's see how much this actually takes. 18 components and 135 plasteel. That is a lot. I mean, once we can start bringing in our own steel from the shrooms and our own plasteel, that's actually not too bad, because then we can make components from the yeah, we can get a components assembly bench essentially. We may expand the crafting hall all down here, because we are well, we're running a little bit low on space in here, and there's still a few things we need building, like the component assembly bench here. This is a pretty substantial piece of equipment. We could build it and it would be the very last thing to fit in this room. That's the only place it would fit, would be right there. Yeah, we'll build one, and then we can check how much it's actually going to cost us to assemble components. Looks like the farms are almost finished. That's a pretty big step towards getting back on our feet after all that toxic fallout. It only lasted a little while, but it only needed to last a little while. What are we building here? Oh, that's right, we're building hops plants. So we're researching brewing, and I want to be able to let people have a beer at the end of a hard day's work. Okay, so components assembly bench. Let's take a look. So that's just 25 steel. That's pretty doable. Advanced components takes a component, some steel, some gold, and some uranium. Wow, we're going to have to be very sparing with those. Very sparing. We need to, I think the way I want to do it to escape the planet is to assemble my own ship, not run away and take the one the AI offered to us. And we're going to need a bit of uranium for that. Now with this mod we can grow our own, so that's not, that's not the end of the world. In fact, we'll probably order that. That grows on now. Sure where it is. Yeah, uranium root. Takes 14 skill to grow, so it's going to be a while before we can even do that. The resource plants do take a really high level person to operate, but I think we're just going to have to deal with that. Priscilla there giving us more steel. How much do we get out of that? How much are you carrying there? Not much. I think that was only like 10 or 20 steel from the slag chunks, of which there are quite a few on the map, from all of the fallen things and disassembled things, random bits that start across the map. Looks like we have managed to haul a bunch of that in, but there's still some out there as well. And I think on that note, folks, we're going to end this episode here. We've made not too much visible progress, except this up here, which is pretty sweet. And we can actually disassemble him now. Finish off our concrete wall. And down here, we can disassemble this entire wall section now. And make it much easier for our farmers to get to and fro. I don't know if we're going to bother building yeah, I don't know if we'll bother building any roads up here, because I think we're going to try and build our ship in this area. Expand our crafting out here if we need to, but honestly I'm not sure what else we need as far as crafting goes. I think we have just about everything. There we are. We have way in and out again. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this colony's going. Definitely the largest in size and population that I've ever done. The 3 geothermal generators, really pleased we have those. Our little single entrance is doing us pretty okay. I would like to double up on some of these walls at some point, but I think the mossy ground is actually going to prevent us doing that in any kind of reliable sense. So I think when it comes to long range defense, our mortars are pretty much our best and only hope. Food situation is looking pretty good. As soon as we get more vegetables in, like from the harvest, we can start producing more meals, but we still have a couple of hundred, yeah, like 327 just waiting there. We will order, just for the sake of stockpiling a little bit more, we'll order those boars to be hunted, because there is just so damn many. It's going to keep our hunters busy a while. And yeah, we'll actually get around to ending the episode now, folks. Thanks a bunch for joining me. See you